Your mind just made more than 30 decisiones in the last 60 seconds. And you only noticed maybe 2 of them. If that doesn't make you question who's actually steering your life, nothing will. Every single day, you move through the world, believing you're consciously choosing your actions. But beneath the surface, a silent tug-of-war is unfolding, a constant struggle between tres fuerzas inmensas, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the deep unconscious that lives in the dark corners of your psyche. These trees layers don't always cooperate. Sometimes they support each other. Sometimes they collide. And sometimes, without your permission, they override your intentions entirely. Yet this invisible battle shapes everything. Your habits, your reactions, your relationships, your failures, your victories. Even the way you interpret reality itself. Here's a truth most men never hear. Your conscious mind, the part of you that feels in control, manages barely a tiny portion of your day. Something close to 5%. The remaining 95% of your life is determined by the machinery running below awareness. Those hidden layers make rapid-fire decisions, interpret threats, store memories, and push you towards certain behaviors without ever asking your approval. Think about yesterday. One small choice, a single sentence you used in a conversation, the tone you replied with, or the impulse to grab your phone, may have created consequences you won't even notice until weeks or months from now. Yet your conscious mind has almost no clue it happened. Let's test this in real time. Remember the last moment you reacted quickly. Maybe you snapped at someone, grabbed your phone without thinking, or felt irritation rise out of nowhere. Did it feel like a deliberate decision? Or did it feel automatic, as if some hidden part of you took over? That was your subconscious pulling the strings. Quiet, fast, efficient, and completely outside your awareness. But the deepest layer, the one most men never confront, is the unconscious mind. This is the vault that holds the beliefs you didn't choose, the fears you never resolved, and the memories you don't remember. Yet those buried influences shape your choices every single day. These trees' mental command centers explain why you think the way you do, why you sabotage certain opportunities, and why some patterns repeat over and over again. It's not chaos. It's a system, complex, layered, and powerful. And if you want to uncover la verdad consciente, you must understand this system first. Because awareness alone isn't the goal. Control is. In a moment, we'll break down each of these tres mental layers, the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious, to reveal how they operate, how they communicate, and how they secretly fight for dominance inside you. But before we continue, ask yourself this. How much of your life have you actually been awake for? And how much has been lived for you by the parts of your mind you've never truly met? What if I told you there are tres versiones de ti mismo fighting for control right now? Every thought that crosses your mind, every emotion that rises and fades, every action you take, none of it comes from a single source. It is orchestrated by tres niveles de inteligencia interna, each with its own rules, its own agenda, its own definition of safety and success. Let's meet them. First, there is the conscious mind, the version of you that feels awake, deliberate, present. This is the narrator in your head reading these words. Think of it as the spotlight operator. It shines attention on whatever you choose in the moment, whether you're solving a problem, scrolling on your phone, or admiring the sky at sunset. It feels powerful, but it's shockingly limited. The conscious mind can only hold a few pieces of information at once. It gets distracted easily. It loses focus. And despite its fragility, this is the part of you that dreams big, sets goals, and imagines the life you want. Then, beneath it, sits the subconscious mind, the quiet machine that never stops working. While your conscious mind handles the present moment, your subconscious runs the rest of your life. It manages your habits, your reflexes, your emotional patterns. Think about learning to drive a car. At first, every movement is deliberate. Mirrors, pedals, steering, awareness of every detail. But over time, the conscious mind delegates all of it to the subconscious. Then one day, you arrive somewhere and barely remember the drive. That's the subconscious in full power, efficient, fast, automatic, but also stubborn. Once something is programmed into this layer, a belief, a fear, a habit, it plays on repeat whether it helps you or destroys you. And finally, we reach the deepest chamber, the unconscious mind. This is the shadow realm of your psychology, the place that stores everything your conscious mind refused to face. Your earliest memories, your heartbreaks, your buried fears, your raw instincts. This part of you speaks in symbolism, not logic, through sudden emotions, through impulses, through dreams that feel too real. A childhood moment you can't recall might still be dictating why you distrust certain people today. A forgotten humiliation might explain why you shrink in certain situations. Your unconscious is always influencing you, even when you'd swear it isn't. And here's the truth most men never hear. These trees' minds do not always get along. You might tell yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up early and train. But if your subconscious associates mornings with stress, or your unconscious carries the memory of failure, your conscious intention doesn't stand a chance. You hit the snooze button. You skip the workout. You repeat the cycle. Not because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, but because you are outnumbered. Inside you, Tres, mental forces clashed, and the conscious mind lost. Here's where it gets even more revealing. These minds are constantly communicating with each other. You just don't speak their language yet. A strange dream might be your unconscious trying to deliver a message. A gut instinct might be your subconscious trying to warn you. A sudden fear might be an unresolved memory trying to protect you. This internal communication system has rules, signals, and patterns. And when you learn to understand it, you begin to access la verdad consciente, the truth about who you really are, beneath the layers of conditioning. In the next part, we'll decode this hidden language and uncover the signals your subconscious and unconscious send every day. Signals that, until now, you've been ignoring. Your nightmares are not random. They are not meaningless. They are not just dreams. They are coded messages from the parts of your mind you've never properly met. Every thought you think, every emotion that rises in your chest, every dream that wakes you up at night. All of it forms a hidden language. It's the communication system between your conscious mind, your subconscious programming, and the deep unconscious that shapes your instincts. But here's the challenge. This language is not logical. It's symbolic, emotional, repetitive, and often confusing, unless you know how to decode it. Let's start with something simple. Have you ever set a conscious goal, eating better, saving money, improving your discipline, only to sabotage it without knowing why? It's not because you're lazy. It's because your conscious mind speaks one language, and your subconscious speaks another. Your conscious mind relies on logic, intention, and vision. Your subconscious relies on patterns, emotional memories, and repetition. If your subconscious holds a belief like, "I'm not capable," or "change is dangerous," it will override your conscious goals every single time. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it was programmed long ago to keep you in familiar territory. That's why certain places or people make you uncomfortable instantly, even when you can't explain it. Your subconscious isn't guessing. It's recalling patterns from your past at lightning speed. It's a smoke alarm, not always accurate, but impossible to ignore. Now let's go deeper. Beneath all that lies the unconscious mind, the most mysterious layer of your internal world. This is where your mind stores everything you were not ready to face: fear, trauma, shame, instincts, and forgotten experiences. Your unconscious does not communicate through words. It communicates through symbols, through dreams, through sudden emotional spikes that don't match the moment, through stories that your mind creates at night, filled with metaphors you were never taught to understand. A dream where you're falling might reflect a fear of losing control. A dream about being trapped might mirror a situation in your life where you feel powerless. A recurring nightmare isn't just fear. It's a message repeating itself because you haven't decoded it yet. And trauma. Trauma is powerful. When an experience is too overwhelming for your conscious mind, your unconscious buries it to protect you. But buried does not mean gone. These wounds reshape your beliefs. They influence your choices. They whisper old fears into new situations. A childhood moment you've forgotten might be the reason you hesitate to speak up today. A painful memory you suppressed might be the reason you distrust success, love, or opportunity. So the question becomes, how do you interpret this hidden language? Step 1 is awareness. Start noticing patterns. Pay attention to recurring thoughts, emotions, and dreams that appear without warning. These are clues, breadcrumbs from your subconscious and unconscious, pointing toward the truth. Journaling is a powerful tool here. When you write your thoughts and dreams, you give shape to messages that were previously trapped in the shadows. The moment you start decoding these signals, you unlock a new level of self-understanding. And with that understanding comes the beginning of power. The power to shift, correct, and consciously influence the forces that shape your life. But the real breakthrough comes when you learn to make these trees' minds work together, instead of against each other. When you align them, clarity emerges. Fear softens. Self-sabotage dissolves. And you gain access to la verdad consciente, the truth that lives beneath all the noise. Up next, we go even deeper. We're going to explore specific techniques to rewire your mental structure, methods powerful enough to align the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious into one unified force. There's a mental switch inside you that most men never discover. A switch that only flips when your tree's minds stop fighting each other and start working as one. When your conscious mind, your subconscious programming, and your unconscious desires finally align, something extraordinary happens. You don't just improve your life. You redefine what you believe is possible. This alignment creates a state of clarity, power, and inner certainty that very few people ever experience. But here's the real question. How do you activate this switch? How do you maintain it every single day? Let's break it down. The world's top performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, use a mental strategy so powerful that most keep it quiet. Their secret is simple. They train all trees' minds at once. Look at elite athletes. They don't just practice physically. Before every performance, they rehearse their success in their minds, down to every detail. They feel the tension in their muscles. They hear the sound of the crowd. They live the victory in their imagination before it ever happens in real life. Why does this work? Because the brain fires the same neurons during deep visualization as it does during the real action. This bridges the gap between conscious intention and subconscious execution. Now consider men who've overcome enormous adversity. They didn't escape their past by accident. They reprogrammed their mental networks day after day. One man I studied used a simple nightly ritual. Before sleeping, he wrote down one limiting belief he noticed that day. Next to it, he wrote a new belief to replace it. Over time, His subconscious began operating from the new blueprint automatically. That's the quiet power of repetition. If you want to strengthen the alignment between your tree's minds, start incorporating these habits into your daily life. 1. The morning alignment ritual. Begin your morning with intention. Spend a few minutes visualizing your most important goal, as if it's already done. See it. Feel it. Own it. Anchor this vision with deep breathing and powerful affirmations. This sets your conscious and subconscious on the same frequency for the entire day. Doze. The midday mind. Reset. Your conscious mind gets overloaded with distractions and noise. Halfway through the day, pause for a mental reset. Close your eyes. Take slow breaths. Reconnect with your intention. This clears the cognitive clutter and brings your awareness back into alignment. Trees. The evening integration practice. At night, your mind enters a transition state between the conscious and unconscious. Use this moment wisely. Journal your emotions, insights, recurring thoughts, or patterns you observed throughout the day. This strengthens the bridge between all tres mental layers. While you sleep, your unconscious processes everything you've written. Once these rituals become routine, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice the shift. Decisions feel lighter. Fear weakens. Clarity sharpens. Life becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. But if you want to go even deeper, beyond daily habits, there are advanced strategies that elevate your mental mastery to an entirely new level. Lucid dreaming, for example. This practice allows you to step into your unconscious mind during sleep and interact with it directly. You can confront fears, explore ideas, rehearse success, or unlock insights your waking mind could never access. Another powerful tool is neurofeedback. Using real-time measurement of brain activity, you can train your mind to operate in optimized states, boosting focus, reducing anxiety, and enhancing creativity and intuition. Imagine integrating all of this into your daily life. Imagine your tres minds synchronized, communicating clearly, supporting one single direction, your direction. Decisions become intuitive. Challenges transform into opportunities. Resistance dissolves into momentum. Your mind stops being an enemy and becomes the greatest ally you've ever had. Up next, we'll step into the frontier of human consciousness. The evolving research, discoveries, and methods that are redefining what it means to think, to feel, and to become. The next evolution of human consciousness isn't coming someday. It's already unfolding right now, and whether you realize it or not, you're part of it. Your journey into understanding your mind is not just about improving your productivity or achieving goals. It's about stepping into a new level of awareness, a level that researchers, thinkers, and visionaries around the world are only beginning to grasp. A level where your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious minds merge into something greater, something powerful, something whole. Let's start with one of the oldest and most misunderstood gateways into this expanded awareness: your dreams. For centuries, people dismissed dreams as random noise, a mix of images, memories, and nonsense. But now we know the truth. Dreams are a bridge, a direct line of communication between your waking consciousness and the deeper layers of your mind. When you sleep, your unconscious speaks in symbols. It reveals fears you've ignored, desires you've buried, and insights your conscious mind is too distracted to notice. Modern researchers have shown that intentional dream work, writing down your dreams, reflecting on their patterns, setting intentions before bed, can unlock breakthroughs in creativity, emotional healing, and even physical well-being. Some of history's greatest innovators, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, and many others, credited their dreams as the birthplace of their most revolutionary ideas. Because in dream states, the unconscious isn't whispering, It's speaking loudly. Now let's move to another frontier: consciousness integration. Scientists studying peak states, moments of clarity, flow, intuition, and heightened awareness, have discovered something fascinating. During these states, different regions of the brain synchronize. The mind enters a harmonic rhythm. The conscious, subconscious, and unconscious stop fighting and start collaborating. Meditation, breathwork, biofeedback, and even controlled psychedelic therapies are being studied as tools capable of creating this synchronization. Because when your mind enters coherence, la verdad consciente rises to the surface. But perhaps the most profound frontier is something even bigger: collective consciousness. New theories propose that individual minds aren't isolated units, but interconnected, like waves within the same ocean. This means your personal growth doesn't end with you. Every time you align your internal world, you send ripples outward. Your clarity influences others. Your transformation elevates the people around you. Your inner alignment contributes to a larger shift in human awareness. This idea isn't mystical, it's becoming scientific, and you're already participating in it. Now, if you want to take your mental mastery to the next level, here are practices designed to help you deepen your connection with all tres layers of your mind. 1. Dream rehearsal. Before you sleep, set an intention. Ask a question. Bring a challenge to your mind. Tell your unconscious, show me what I'm not seeing. When you wake, write down anything that comes up. Images, emotions, sensations. Over time, patterns emerge. Clues, directions, truths you could never reach consciously. Do's. Consciousness, calibration. Spend a few minutes each day practicing heart-brain coherence. Focus on a feeling of gratitude while breathing slowly and deeply. This creates harmony between your emotional centers and your conscious awareness. Clarity rises. Stress falls. You become more aligned. Tres. Future self, visualization. Imagine yourself dentro de 5 años, fully aligned, centered, powerful. How do you think? How do you act? How do you carry yourself? This mental rehearsal programs your subconscious to adopt the behaviors of the man you're becoming, not the man you used to be. And remember, as technology advances, our understanding of the mind will evolve dramatically. Artificial intelligence, neuroscience, quantum theory. All of these fields are opening doors we never thought imaginable. But despite all that progress, the greatest frontier will always be the one inside you. Your inner world, your mental landscape, your truth. Now we reach the final part of this journey, a step that ties everything together and turns everything you've learned into transformation. Because knowledge without action is nothing. Awareness without application is like having a map and refusing to walk. So here it is, your personalized blueprint for alignment. Paso 1. Audit your mental blueprint. Write down tres conscious goals you want to achieve. Then, beside each one, identify any subconscious beliefs or unconscious patterns that might sabotage them. For example, if you want financial freedom, ask yourself, do I truly believe abundance flows easily to me? Or do I feel unworthy of wealth? The shadows you uncover are the first keys to rewriting your inner programming. Paso 2. Align through daily rituals. Consistency is the fuel of transformation. Create a daily routine that integrates your tres minds. Morning visualization. Spend a few minutes imagining your ideal day, as if it's already unfolding. Midday reflection. Ask yourself, am I acting in alignment with my goals, or am I letting old patterns take over? Evening journaling. Reflect on the day's insights, emotions, dreams, or internal shifts. This connects your conscious mind directly with your unconscious processing during sleep. Paso 3. Harness the power of repetition. Your subconscious learns through repetition and emotion. Pair your affirmations with real actions. If you say, "I trust myself," then do one small thing each day that builds self-trust. Paso cuatro. Explore your unconscious. Set aside time weekly for meditation, creative expression, or dream work. Your unconscious speaks in metaphors. Pay attention. Every symbol carries meaning. Paso cinco. Stay open to evolution. As you grow, so does your inner world. Old beliefs dissolve. New truths emerge. The journey of La Verdad Consciente is not linear. It's a spiral that deepens over time. And now, the final piece. This work, this journey, this awakening. It is not about becoming someone else. It is about meeting the version of you that has always been waiting beneath the noise. The man you were designed to be before fear, conditioning, and doubt took over. Your conscious mind sets the vision. Your subconscious builds the bridge. Your unconscious holds the keys to your deepest truth. When the trees align, there are no limits, no ceilings, no cages left standing. So as you walk away from this message, remember, you have already begun. The seeds are planted, and every intentional choice you make from this moment forward brings you closer to the real you. The journey doesn't end here. It starts here. The question is no longer whether you'll unlock your potential. The real question is, how far are you willing to go to meet the man you were always meant to become?